I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please stand to salute the nation's flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In attendance this evening are Supervisors Fisher, Aguizio, Cassiola, Savavik, and Fleer. In addition, Township Manager Don Januso, Jack King, Director of Planning and Assistant Township Manager, Sean Bukovinsky, Chief of Police, he's not here today, Engineer Dan Deiseroth of Gateway Engineers, Township Solicitor Gretchen Moore, and our Director of Public Works, Bill Baudorf. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I'd like to take this opportunity first to recognize our Parks and Recreation Board. If you all want to stand up, please, and come up here. I know, I'm going to totally embarrass all of you. If you had the opportunity this evening, 2 weekends ago, to go to the Fall Festival, you will know how absolutely phenomenal it was. I've been on the board now for almost 10 years in Cecil, and I can say that was by far one of the best festivals that we've ever had. So thank you, thank you, thank you. These men and women here worked for more than a year to make that happen, and we owe them a huge thank you and round of applause.
Great job. Great job.
And please stay and do it again next year. We're already started working on it. Yay! That's so good to hear. It was so good. Everybody had such a good time. My kids were begging to go back this past weekend. I'm like, guys, it's not there. So, thank you. Much appreciated.
I think we also need to give credit to Jack.
You took the words out of my mouth. Go ahead.
That's right.
I was going to do it next. Also, this man to our left who works you know what I'm trying to say, for a year next to these guys, and then all day, both days, our Assistant Township Manager and our liaison to our Parks and Recreation Board, Jack King. He also deserves a huge thank you and round of applause. Again, thank you. Much appreciated. Supervisor Savavik, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Please, I wanted to just take this moment to publicly state the passing of Chief Bill Cass and to thank him and offer peace, love, and joy, and all the gifts of the Spirit be with his family, and would ask that we all just have a brief moment of silence for Chief. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. At this time, before we get into that, we had a brief executive session prior to this meeting to discuss CHJA litigation with our attorney. Citizens' comments. Comments will be taken at this time for any item to be voted on by the board that appears on the agenda. General township comments and questions will be addressed after the Board of Supervisors' discussion of old business. Please step to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Not everybody at once. Thank you. Moving on. Just a few announcements. Leaf collection will begin Monday, October 18th, and will end on Wednesday, November 24th. Leaves will be picked up Monday through Thursday during this period. Bag leaves are to be placed out in biodegradable bags. Loose leaves will be raked to the curb. There's a new start time for the Cecil Township Historical Society on Wednesday, October 20th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the meeting room of the Municipal Building. The Cecil Township Trail of Treats, sponsored also by our wonderful Parks and Recreation Board, will be held in Cecil Park on Saturday, October 23rd, 2021 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Trick or Treat in Cecil Township will be on Sunday, October 31st, 2021 from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. If you're participating, please leave your porch light on. Resolutions 161, 2021. Consider application 2021-0029 for the Quaresma Subdivision Plan Number 1, location 538 and 550 Swihart Road, R1 Low Density Residential Zoning District. Applicants David and Sarah Mikulowski and David Quaresma. Sorry if I'm totally butchering your last names. The Planning Commission recommended approval on September 16, 2021.
Thank you. Members of the board, this is...
I don't think your microphone's working, Dan.
Members of the board, this is a subdivision plan that is located along, can't get the right plan here, along Swihart Road, and it's just a simple consolidation plan where part of the property, this is the current property line. The property owners are working out a deal to swap some land, so the new property line will go in this direction and around, and this will be the revised lot. The plan was reviewed by our office. All the comments have been addressed. There's no additional technical comments, and it's in order for your consideration. I don't know if there's anybody here tonight to represent the plan. Carrie Kreider's here if you have any questions.
I don't have any questions. Any board members have any questions? No. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 162, 2021, consider application 2021-0031 for the Bridge Holdings Lot Line Consolidation Plan, location 3116 and 3120 Millers Run Road, an unaddressed adjacent parcel C3 Village Commercial Zoning District, applicant Bridge City Holdings LLC. The Planning Commission recommended approval on September 16, 2021.
Again, this is a simple subdivision. Actually, it's a consolidation where they're eliminating lot lines. I'm going to try to boost the visual on this. So the property is located between Millers Run Road and the existing Pennsylvania and Central Railroad right-of-way that's immediately behind it. They're taking 3 lots and they're consolidating those lots together. And again, to make one larger lot of approximately 0.295 acres. The plan was reviewed by our office. They have addressed all comments. The Planning Commission recommended approval, and the plan is technically in order for your consideration tonight.
Any questions by the board?
Is there anybody here to represent this one? Doesn't look like it.
I don't think there's any board questions either. Do I have a motion? Oh, go ahead, you have a question.
Dan, is there anything way he can address that water running out of there?
I wasn't aware that we're on, but we can take a look at it. Sure.
Bill, you're aware of it, right? Down by Joe Capolo's. The water running out of that bank?
Yeah, I haven't heard the reason for the consolidation, Ron. I'm thinking they want to build something there. So if they do build it, they'll need a site plan to be approved, or we'll take a look at it if they come in for a building permit.
There's been a recent development right there. What happened, that water started running, so Joe dug some trenches there, but it started running under the road instead of over the road. I don't know whether it's found a pipe culvert or what's under that road. We've had PennDOT down there quite a few times and asked them to put a system in to handle that. It seems to be running good today, but Ron and I both looked at them on numerous occasions. Right now, the water's running under the road. So I'm assuming a pipe culvert. I think once the development starts in there, they'll have to adjust it. Quite frankly, it's a spring that's coming off the road.
Yeah, we'll make a note of it, make sure it's
Okay.
in the file. When they come in for anything else, they will make sure we take care of that.
Any other board questions? Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 163, 2021, consider approval of pay application number 3 in the amount of $57,916.75 to Independent Enterprises, Inc. for work to date on the Creedmoor Street Bridge.
Members of the board, this is application number 3 for the bridge, that being the Creedmoor Street Bridge. The bridge is complete and open. This is in final payment. They'll still have to give us some other information before we make a recommendation for final payment. So the bridge looks great, and we're recommending this payment in the amount of $57,916.75.
Any questions by the board? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
4 and 1 abstention. 164, 2021, consider award of the Cecil Township Public Works Facility Early Site Package to Stewart Contracting, Inc. in the amount of $1,111,398. This project involves site development work, including demolition of existing site feature, bulk excavation, storm sewer installation, and associated site restoration.
And members of the board, this is the first phase of the Public Works project for the property located on Clear Road. The bids were received on the early site package. We had a number of bids. They ranged in price from the low bid of Stewart Contracting of $1.1 million up to about $2.5 million for the base bid. Our estimate for the project was about $1.5 million, so it was a good bid. We've provided a summary of the bids. All the bids have been tabulated. The project is in order and ready to commence. All permits are in hand. So if you decide tonight to move forward, this would begin the process of the construction of the land and preparation for the new Public Works building.
Any questions before we vote? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 165, 2021, consider the acceptance of the public improvements for streets in the Windsor Woods Development Phase 6A and 6B to include portions of Sir James Drive and Sir Charles Drive as recommended by the township engineer. Didn't we?
Yeah, this is to be
This
tabled.
pulled off.
This will
Yeah,
be
this is tabled.
Yes.
I was gonna say, didn't I take that off? Sorry. So that'll be tabled till next month. Do I have the wrong?
No, I think that's the right agenda. It's the
It
same.
is.
Yeah.
What's the reason for tabling?
That's the one that we were talking about, Eric, where the developer still, or there's water issues on properties
Yeah,
up there.
there's one, just to give the board a brief report, the developer met out there today with the builder up there, who's Dan Ryan Homes. Dan Ryan Homes has been asked to correct this water problem on 4 lots for a number of months. They've not done it yet, so they promised to do it this week. So that, and there's a couple other little punch list items I talked to Bill about tonight that we're going to get addressed before next meeting, so.
Since it's officially on the agenda, may I make a motion to table this?
Yeah, I'll second that motion. All those in favor of tabling it signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5, nothing to table. 166, 2021, consider the developer's request for revisions to the existing PRD conditions for the McConnell's Trails development as previously set forth by the Board of Supervisors as follows. Current condition number 5, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3 of the PRD, the developer shall install improvements at the intersection of Burnside Road and Muse Bishop Road as outlined. Request change to condition number 5, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3B of the PRD, the developer shall install improvements at the intersection of Burnside Road and Muse Bishop Road as outlined. Current condition number 8 and number 8.3.3, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3 of the PRD, the developer shall be responsible for upgrades to McConnell Road from the intersection of Muse Bishop to 100 feet east of entrance. Requested change to condition 8 and number 8.3.3, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3B of the PRD, the developer shall either be responsible for upgrades to McConnell Road from the intersection of Muse Bishop to 100 feet east of entrance or posting satisfactory financial security for the improvements. Hi.
Hello.
So we'll let you talk, but I thought one of the things that we said last month was before this would even be considered by the board, we were not going to accept posting satisfactory financial security for the improvements.
Yeah, I guess on that topic, we're not looking to not do that repair. It was
in order to release the building permits. So we would post financial security, and then at due time, we would still do the repair. But it was to make sure that, we weren't asking for building permits without that requirement being met.
I mean, I
It's
understand.
like, we're not looking to not do the work, but we're saying that right now the condition reads that in order to get building permits released, we have to do the repair.
Correct.
So the thought being is that there still is going to be construction happening at that time. So to protect the municipality, Cecil Township, we would post financial security for that repair to be done until we do it, to release the building permits. Does that make sense? Like, we're not looking to
It
get out of doing
does.
it.
It does, but quite frankly, and I'm one board member, so please feel free to speak up, but I'm not okay with that, because posting financial security means that you could do it, there's no time frame on that. So you could post the financial security, we release the building permits, and then 5 years from now, you could say, oh, but we're not quite done yet. And whether or not that would happen, I don't know, but the agreement states that the work would be done prior to the building permits being released.
And I think the only reason we're looking to delay that is so that we don't do a brand-new improvement, spend $100,000, and then bring construction traffic in. So want to do what's best for the municipality. So we're fine with a timeline. I just we don't want to hold up building permits. So if you want to attach some other trigger to it, we're fine. We're not looking to not do the work. We're just looking to get the timing correct. When we came in 5 years ago, this was supposed to be a 3-phase project. Now it's going to be 7. So we're just looking to readjust the timing.
Okay, so let's take a step back and break these up by conditions.
Yep.
So you're saying for condition 5, you want, condition 5 currently states that the construction in phase 3, so on or before the application of building permits for the construction of phase 3, you want that to be changed because you want to break phase 3 into a phase 3A and a phase 3B, yes?
That's correct. And next, assuming we can move forward from this, like next month, we would like to get our final approval for phase 3A. So yes, we're definitely splitting those. And the reason we're looking at doing that is because our phase 3A does not connect to Burnside Road. And we also wanted to get the timing of that road repair coinciding with the summer when school's out of session, so we can, when we do the work on the intersection, we can get it all done when no one's in school. So yes, that's what we're looking to do.
So why are you splitting 3 into 3A and 3B? Just to
No,
extend?
not because of that. We split phase 2 into 2A and 2B. It's restrictions with the lending and how much inventory we can bring on all at one time. So right now, we're just paving phase 2B. We're going in for our approvals for phase 3A. When we come back in for phase 3B, we'll be through phase 2B into phase 3A. So it's just a timing and borrowing capacity issue.
So current condition 5 requires improvements to Burnside and Muse Bishop.
Correct.
Condition 8 requires improvements to McConnell Road. But you're saying that this now 3-phase project is going to be 7 phases. If the idea is to delay the improvements to these 2 things until construction is over so that you don't ruin a newly paved road, are you asking to extend it to the end of the 7th phase? Because that's a long time away.
No, we're asking to just move it from phase 3 to building permits with phase 3B, which will be our last phase.
Phase 3B is the absolute last phase of McConnell's Trails.
Yes.
Board members?
You're gonna be dumping a lot of traffic onto McClellan Road.
I'm sorry, what's that, Ron?
You're gonna be dumping a lot of traffic onto McConnell Road, with that not being open all the way through.
I don't think we're going to be doing any more than what we currently have, and we do have a current maintenance bond in place to handle any repairs due to construction traffic.
I'm not as concerned about the road as the traffic. I mean, Sean and I kind of talked over roughly, you're looking at 125 more cars a day when you build all 68 townhouses.
Right, well, the way that the way that the timing will work out is when we go in for Phase 3A and we pave that, we would look to pave that probably next spring. We'd look to make the improvement to Burnside Road and Muse Bishop over the summer, and then we would look to make our final connection into Burnside Road to open up the secondary entrance next fall, like about a year from now. So there's not going to be, it's not as if the whole plan's going to be built out, developed, and then we're tying into Burnside Road.
Just a suggestion, instead of just the way Andy's worded it, would it be, do you want to put a time limit on it? But like what you're saying, would you agree to a time limit that it be done, that the improvements be completed by the construction season of 2022? Is that what you're saying? Next year?
By completion of next year for the Burnside Road improvement. I still think for the McConnell, we'll do it, but I think it might be worthwhile to wait until we get less traffic on the road so that we're not putting in a large improvement and then taking construction traffic. But I'll leave that up to you guys.
That would make, that at least
I
that.
agree with you on that.
So you're okay with?
If we're going to put a time frame.
Put a
on it.
time to, so the condition on the improvements to Burnside would be that they be completed no later than, let's just say, October 31st, which is the end of paving season, 2022.
That works for me.
Okay, then.
So I'm going to break these up into two separate agenda items. I'm going to say condition 5 and the requested change is 166, 2021A. Carol, is that okay? And then completed no later than October 2022. So we'll take, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take a vote on just condition 5. So we're going to say 166, 2021. We're going to change current condition 5, which states, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3 of the PRD, the developer shall install improvements at the intersection of Burnside Road and Muse Bishop Road as outlined. The new condition will be, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3B of the PRD, the developer shall install improvements at the intersection of Burnside Road and Muse Bishop Road completed no later than October 2022. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
October 31st, 2022. Okay, good catch, Tom. All right.
Okay with you?
Yeah, that's good.
So do I have a motion on 166, 2021A?
I make that motion.
I'll it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that passes 5-0. Now, the next condition is 8 and 8.3.3. So this is the one where you want to do improvements on McConnell Road. I think there also needs to be a time frame set on the posting of financial securities for improvements. Like, that can't just hang out forever.
Yeah, I mean, how about if we do financial security to release the building permits and road improvement no later than October 31 of 2023?
So that would be one entire year
Under a year
later.
after, because Burnside Road entrance will be open. You'll be having traffic come out of the community in both sites. We can bring construction traffic in on the Burnside where the improvement's done. And then, we can get that in at the end of paving season. If you want a timeline on it, that'd probably be my recommendation.
I do want a timeline on it.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is 166, 2021B. The current condition 8 and 8.3.3 reads, on or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3 of the PRD, the developer shall be responsible for upgrades to McConnell Road from the intersection of Muse Bishop to 100 feet east of, drives me crazy that doesn't say the entrance, but east of entrance. The new condition will read, so this is conditions 8 and 8.3.3. On or before the application of building permits for lots to be constructed in Phase 3B of the PRD, the developer shall either be responsible for upgrades to McConnell Road. Well, I don't like that. So, because we're not saying you're doing one or the other. We're not saying you're either doing, so we're taking that wording out. So we're going to say the developer shall be responsible for upgrades to McConnell Road from the intersection of Muse Bishop to 100 feet east of the entrance. How do we want to word that?
I think
And posting satisfactory financial security for the improvements to be completed by October 31st, 2023. Make sense?
yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. So they're both conditions are approved, just with those dates.
Okay.
October 31st, 2023.
Thank you.
So it's
Andy.
1 year later.
Make sure that the residents that live there are aware that we will not be plowing their roads or anything.
We will.
Because last year, our drivers got beat up in some places because, they said they drove right by, but that we will not be plowing or salting their roads or anything.
We'll make sure we know. We have the Homeowners Association has a Facebook page, and we have members of the community that are on the homeowners board, so we have good communication, so we
Okay.
understand it's our responsibility, and we'll make sure we convey that to them.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so moving on. 167, 2021, consider authorization of Gatens, Tucci, and Nichols to file the appropriate actions in the Washington County Court of Common Pleas against Canonsburg-Houston Joint Authority, Canonsburg Borough, and Houston Borough regarding the financial issues identified in the forensic audit completed by DeLuzio and Company, LLP.
So moved.
Wait, hold on. With cost to be split 1/5 by each participating entity. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 168, 2021, consider certification of the 2022 MMO for the Uniform Pension Plan at $629,506. Do I have a motion? Oh, wait, continue number. Yep. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Sorry. 169, 2021, consider the 2022 option year with Waste Management for the collection of solid waste, recyclables, and household hazardous waste at a quarterly fee of $58.02. This is just our last year in that waste management contract. I cannot talk tonight. We're just optioning that last year.
There was discussion early on when we entered into that contract that they may try to go back to the Monday. Do you know if any of that has been ever discussed? Monday
Not in
pickup?
this contract, right?
They said that, yeah, you could look back later or, all right, just wondered if it was done or if there was a chance or, I don't.
We did approach Waste Management probably 3 years ago, and they weren't able to, with staffing limitations, and now staffing limitations have become worse. They won't be able to switch our day.
I will
Okay.
say that we have a new operations manager who is extremely responsive. I had a few members of the community reach out to me on Friday, let me know their garbage wasn't picked up, and then reached back out today and said he was very responsive, said we'll get it by Monday, and then those residents reached back out and said it had been picked up.
Right.
So
But my point is, just that I've heard comments from residents that stated that Monday, they liked that. They liked being able to have the weekend and have the pickup on a Monday, so.
we could consider it for the next time we bid out a contract, which will be next year.
Wh-
This is the
While
last
you're on
year.
that, I'd like to look into, in the future, break the township in half for 2 separate contracts. I think we'll get a more responsible bid.
Like somebody other than Waste Management.
Yeah, nobody can
Fayette,
really handle our
that-
township.
That Cecil's too big for them, but they
Right.
could easily do half of it.
That may be a nightmare, a logistical nightmare.
I don't
for
think
us.
so.
Well, 29 square miles is a lot for one company to handle, and all the little guys don't bid it. They can't handle it. He's right.
Okay, well, this is for this year. Do we want to consider the option year? It's kind of late to get it out, but. I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Frank, did you say yes? Yeah. Passes 5-0. 170, 2021, consider certification of the 2022 MMO for the non-uniform pension plan at $310,838. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
171, 2021, consider the amendment to settlement agreement and release with the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission and Walsh Construction. Anybody have questions? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 172, 2021, consider reestablishing the Agricultural Security Area Zone Committee and appointing 3 members of the Cecil Township Farming Community, 1 non-farming community member, and 1 Cecil Township Supervisor to oversee the committee. So far, those members are John Yago, Ray Zaney, who both submitted letters of interest, and Supervisor Tom Cassiola. Do I have a motion?
How will we address the other 2?
Anybody who wants and who wants to do it and submits a letter of interest.
So then we'll have another motion
Yeah, we'll
for
add
those
it.
positions?
We'll add it to
That's
another
wise.
meeting.
So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 173, 2021, consider the Board of Supervisors' regular monthly minutes, from the Tuesday, September 7th, 2021 Cecil Township Board of Supervisors' regular monthly meeting. Do I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Passes 5-0. 174, 2021, consider the general fund invoices from September 1st through September 30th, 2021. Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 5-0. Board of Supervisors discussion of new business. Set budget workshop dates. Monday seems to work really well for everybody. Hold on one second. Let me pull my calendar.
What's the plan of attack? Do we have 2 meetings in October, 2 in November, 3 in November? 3 in December?
I think let's start and schedule 2, and then we can see where we go from there. Last year, we were able to get it done in 2. So do we want to schedule the first one for Monday, October 18th, or Monday, October 25th? Could they hold it in Generations? Sure. We could do the 25th. Let's do Monday, October 25th.
Dawn, how are you coming with the prep for it? We're good. The 25th?
So is that enough time? Okay. And then you'll provide it to us prior to? Yeah, I should have something to by middle. And then let's schedule a second one for Monday, November 8th. And then we can see where we need to go from there. Both these meetings at 7 p.m. Is that good? Okay. Quickly, before we move on to old business, I had approached the other board members and some of the staff today with an idea about switching up the agenda a little bit. We hear what the residents are saying when people are saying that sometimes it feels like things are rushed and you don't have enough time to think of a question, or you want to ask something, but it's already voted on, moved on. We don't want to hold 2 meetings a month, but there are things that end up on our agenda that don't need to necessarily be voted on that month. So starting next month, there's going to be a section of items that are discussion only. There will not be a vote taken on them. A lot of it's going to be developers' agreements and things like that, just so that stuff doesn't fall through the cracks and is missed. But it will be a section of items, most likely at the beginning of the meeting, that will give us the opportunity to hear from our professionals, talk to each other, hear from the public. They will hang out there for a month, and then will be voted on at the following month. Now, unfortunately, not everything can work like that, because some things we have timelines or are pressing, and we have no choice. But if we have the ability to let it kind of marinate for a month and let you guys as residents hear it and think about it and then bring to us any concerns or questions. I think that's a good way to move forward. So as a chairperson, I addressed that with other board members. They thought it was a good plan, so that's what we're going to do going forward starting next month.
Mr. Chair, I have three new business items, please, if I could bring up.
Sure.
One would be, just since we heard the gentleman mention that the HOA had its own Facebook page, I thought that the Facebook page was discussed being added here back after the website was up. So I'm just looking for that.
It was
be here?
added. We'd have to redo it, right? Because we still haven't been able to get it out of Facebook purgatory. So we had one added, and it got reported as fake, I guess, a fake page. And we have, up until now, been unable to, even Jack King has sent in his driver's license, and they still don't believe that we're real. So maybe we could create another one, start again.
Thank you. Yeah, I know that was talked about January, February. The second I wanted to bring up for the board, just for discussion and give thought to, was, or Dawn, could you investigate the grant application that would be involving the slate dump removal or any of that process? But I still believe that that should be something that we should address as a township. After the education that we received before, every time it rains, I see the rains running down the slate dumps and causing that. So I would ask, when is the investigation period for the grants, and can we submit for the grants for all of the slate dumps throughout Cecil Township?
The Muse slate dump is sold all except for one more signature. And it's not negotiating the price or anything. It's from getting the consent decree moved from Cecil to the person buying it all. And he is going to clean it up and develop it into a business park.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking the board to consider the other slate dumps all throughout Cecil Township. I think it's time we address it and not just turn our back. We turned down $1.8 million for the cleanup, and I believe there is federal dollars out there, and we should be addressing it.
We didn't turn, Dan, do you have something you want to say? We did not turn down 1.8.
Just those grant applications, you have to have the land tied up to obtain the grant. Like in the case of when the township applied for the grant for the Muse project, they had a sales agreement that gave them some rights to do that. So what I might suggest is that we least, all I would suggest is there's a gentleman from the DEP who handles that. Maybe we request that he come and meet with the township and understand what the process is to go to property owners, or they can do it, because they do a lot of work directly with property owners to help them clean up the property. So I don't think the township would get involved. You might be able to help them, direct them, or point us to them to some. So that'd be my only point on the grant application. You'd have to have cooperation of the property owner to do that, and they can get grants on their own for cleaning that stuff up too.
Okay. Please, if the board would consider that.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to, and I can only speak for myself.
And the
but-
third thing, just the error on the side of communication with the public, or the settlement agreement and the release. Gretchen, are you able to address any of that with the public, or share with the public what that constitutes?
What settlement agreement?
So, number 171, consider the amendment to the
with
settlement agreement
Walsh and
with
the
Walsh
Turnpike.
Construction and Turnpike. Could you give a summary?
Sure.
We skipped that in discussion.
Sure, absolutely. So we filed a suit against them again for breach of the settlement agreement this time. We were before the Commonwealth Court. We had a status conference, and the judge was going to schedule an injunction hearing. We came to terms on an amendment to the settlement agreement, which is basically going to give the township more defined notice, which there was a dispute on what notice meant. So there's now more defined notice, a commitment to the intermittent nature of the work, which I understand has been intermittent as of late, as well as I think the most important thing that happened is we got agreement for the court to retain jurisdiction of the case for purposes of enforcement of the settlement, so that if there is an issue, we don't have to then file something new. We can just return to the court for purposes of enforcement of the settlement. So that's probably the best piece of this. It's going to streamline things moving forward.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's all.
Anything else by any other board members?
Yes, I've been asked questions about the slide on Coomer Road. Dan, do you know where we're at? Anywhere putting this out to bid, or what our means of corrective action are?
Frank, what I would suggest on that is we give you, we put a little report together. We need to talk about that at your budget workshop, because that's going to be that and some other priorities. There's a landslide that needs addressed. So we'll get you a list of some capital projects. The Coomer is stable for now. That situation is stable for now, but I think in the long term, especially with the improvements that they're planning for McConnell Trails, that might be an ideal time to address that whole intersection. So in your budget workshop, we'll be glad to come to a budget workshop, show you a couple of those capital projects and kind of understand those.
Why don't we do that at the first one?
Sure.
Give you like 30 minutes or 45 minutes at the beginning of the first
That's
meeting.
perfect. I
where we
already put it
can-
in my calendar.
Where we
we'll be-
can walk through capital projects.
Sure.
Sounds good. Anything else? Okay. Now we're open to the floor for citizens' general comments and questions. You can just step to the microphone. Go ahead. Go ahead, you can come to the microphone. Just state your name and address, please, for the record.
My name is Darla Bowman-Monaco, and I live at 10 Bayberry Lane in Cecil. I have two questions, and I didn't know how to address this, so this was the best way for me to do it. Blueberry Lane is kind of, for first thing is people use it as a shortcut from McConnell down to Cecil Henderson above the church, and they fly. I mean, the traffic. Some of the cars go down there and they hit a bump and they come off the road. I didn't know if there's any way we can put signs or speed bumps or something on that road that will slow the traffic down.
Sean?
I could have officers go over there.
Well, yeah, and maybe in the morning and in the afternoon. Usually when kids are out, going to school, coming home from school, people rushing to work or rushing home. That's the first thing. And the second thing is there's a lot of homes on that in that neighborhood. It's a very small neighborhood. The lots are large. We don't have any streetlights. How do we get them?
We've been trying for how long, Dawn?
Long time.
For McConnell Road, about 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah, because McConnell has them, but
Yeah,
between McConnell and where Mr. Coppola lives at the bottom of the hill, Frank Coppola, there's none. And there's a lot of families who live there, and we were just wondering if there was any way we can get a street light, even just two, would be great.
Darla, if you want to give Carol your contact information, I'll get a petition together.
Oh, absolutely. I'll
sample
go to my
petition, then
neighbors.
you
I don't
can-
care. Yeah,
Sure.
that would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Kara, hold on. There's somebody else. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Irina Katsevich. I'm not good at public speaking, so bear with me. I am the owner of Cecil Elementary School, former Cecil Elementary School, and I want to talk about plans on developing further property. Through operating, I'm the one who built and operate actually every day. I work with tenants and I work with prospective tenants. I ran into issue that our seniors need a tremendous amount of housing in this area. So they all approach me and they don't have funds to support the rent. So they all thought, because I worked with my husband in senior care, they thought this would be a senior apartments, and they are not. But we came up with the idea of developing a senior housing on the other end of our lot. And so what I'm doing here, I'm asking if the township will be interested to support that idea.
So we can't answer that question. So what you would need to do is put together a plan and submit it to the township. It will go through the normal process of planning commission up to the Board of Supervisors. We can't tell you how.
This is different. I'll interrupt you a little bit. This would go through PHFA, Pennsylvania Housing and Financing Agency. It is extremely extensive process on the beginning of it, and before we get into it, I just need some feedback if you guys are even interested in it. This would be a low-income senior housing,
So
55 plus.
So unfortunately, though, we can't tell you how we would vote because quite frankly, I don't know who would even be on the board at the point in time that it would come back. So I would hate to give you information like, yes, we are for it, or no, we're opposed to it, and then have you come back and have it not pass. So unfortunately, if that's something that you want to pursue, we would just tell you to pursue it and then bring it back to the board and it would follow our normal procedure. We can't give you a yes or no one way or the other right now.
Okay, there are other thing I'm working with the Washington County Redevelopment Authority, and there are some funds that are available for projects like this because for the subsidized housing, it's not subsidized, low-income housing. There are funds provided specifically for constructing. I'm a private individual, and there are funds available, and they asking if you can sponsor the applications for that as a municipality, because only municipalities can apply for that.
I would say, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but not right now. I don't think we would be interested. I mean, we could give you an endorsement.
It is not a fund that we would ask you for. It's just to represent us for that. I don't know how to explain
But just to
that
clarify that, her letter of introduction, she did make it clear that she's not looking for financial
Correct.
Support from the township, just
Correct.
like basically support on applications and things like that.
I
It's not at all
understand that.
subsidized by the township.
I understand that, but
Okay.
how can you
Well, I want to make
say-
sure the residents knew that she's not asking for.
No, I'm not asking for
Taxpayer funds.
funds. We are
But what if
actually
we
working
say-
on funding that through a, it's a federal program, and it's based from in each state, but I'm just asking for like support of a face of the municipality.
Yeah, so, I mean, I understand what you're saying and I appreciate it, but like without any formal plans or understanding, like we can't say yes or no. Like you don't necessarily have to go through the whole process, but maybe if you could work with an architect or come up with plans and we could understand in more detail what it is you're looking at, we can consider it. But,
sure.
and I appreciate you taking the time so much to come here tonight, but unfortunately without like any other information than low-income senior housing, there's nothing for us to say yes or no to.
Understood, and all I'm doing today is thinking if you guys want to hear any further, we're working on some conceptual planning on this, and then we have done some market study to show that there is a tremendous need in the area. So all I'm asking for, if you want to further listen on the next agenda, we have a consultant firm that actually does that application, so.
So I would encourage you again to go through planning commission. So that is like the township's process, which is to come through planning, and if they recommend it to us, then it would come to us. So you can work with the gentleman right behind you, our assistant manager, Jack King, maybe do the presentation to them, get their feedback, see what they have to say, and then should it need to move forward to us, then it can at that point.
Will do. Thank you so
Thank
much for your
you.
time.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Jo-
All right, Kara Sheridan, 58 North DePauli, just two quick things. In just having conversations with residents, the topic of flooding issues has been coming up a lot. I know it's been a really bad year for that with tremendous amounts of rain in very short periods of time. Just generally speaking, what should we be advising residents to do if they are seeking assistance from the township in, remedying some sort of flooding situation that they have? How should we address that?
So we've been setting up, so they could call down to the township. I can give you the number, I'm sure you have it. They can talk to Teresa or Dawn, and the information is then given to our engineer, who will work with the resident to see if there's something that the township can do if the flooding is being caused by something that the township can control. We can't go on to private property and fix somebody's personal flooding issues. We're not allowed, but that's the process that's been established.
Okay, that came up on Windcrest. There was a couple houses there where people were saying that there was, they were trying to divert their water, and then it ended up going in the neighbor's yard, and then there's all kinds of drama. So I wasn't sure. I mean, obviously they can can talk to you guys and someone can go out and figure it out, but I was
Yeah,
just
we've
curious how
looked
that-
at it. I can't say whether or not we've looked at that or not, because
Dan,
there's been a
Dan
number.
has been up there
Okay.
and looked at it.
It's like if you come off of Mawinnie on the left-hand side on Windcrest there, couple houses, stuff come down the hill. Okay. The other thing was, I thought that that workshop on the comprehensive plan seemed promising, so I was just kind of curious are we needing another workshop, or is that going to come up for a vote?
Yeah, so I think that, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the way we ended it is Dan and Jack were gonna go back and redo the map based on the suggested changes from that evening, and then there will be another meeting sometime in October, November,
Okay.
to review those changes and make sure that what we talked about actually made it onto the map, and then once that process happens, it will come to the Board of Supervisors for a public vote.
Okay, great.
But I do agree with you that it was very,
Productive.
yeah, productive. I was gonna say successful, but that's the wrong word.
Okay, that's it.
I'm sorry, I'm back again. But I believe that the lady who was up here about the senior housing, I think that this township needs to take a hard look at that, because there are a lot of people who believe that the school, when we sold it to these people, that's what it was going to be. And I don't think she was asking your permission. What I think she wanted to know is if you'd be interested in any kind of senior living in this township. You have none.
Yeah, I mean.
So, I mean, I really believe that if this township needs to grow and they want to take care of their senior citizens, I think that you need to take a little harder look at that suggestion and let this lady and the company she works for absolutely go out and try to find, because the funding with First Street Elementary School, it took 3 years to get. So I think that, we could be a little more open to what she's looking at and what she wants to do for this township.
We weren't sending her away. I just didn't like, we
So
can't.
I don't think that what she wanted was to be able to say, you need to make plans and bring them to the zoning board and all that. I don't think that. They own the land. So, okay, you have to have planning, go through the planning commission. I think she just needed some support from the township. Just verbal support.
But to your point, Darla, you've sat on a board, like, we can't bind future boards, so I can't, while this board
Oh,
here.
absolutely, you can though. I mean, if you okay it before the next board comes in, then it's okayed. That's just how it works.
But there's no, like, our verbal say, like, that's not a formal vote.
I
Us
know,
saying-
it's not.
Us
but she
saying
didn't
yes
ask
or
for
no
a
is,
vote, though, Cindy. She asked you for if you were interested. Didn't ask for a vote.
we didn't say we weren't interested. I just want to set her up for success, which setting her up for success is following the right channels. If we sit here and say, yes, we're in favor of it, and then future down the line, somebody says, no, I don't want that to happen. I want her to come to the plan and go to the planning commission. They're very good. They're just like us, and it will help her work through that process to get it done.
Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is I don't think that that's what she got out of that. I'm just saying. That's just what it seemed like.
It's a good start. Already check my involvement. Hi, my name's Jay Barbarossa. I live 960 Baker Road, and I'm not real good at speaking either, but I'm going to read you my notes, so you just bear with me. It'll take about 4 or 5 minutes, because I'd like to inform the board and the residents of Cecil Township what's going on with Baker Road.
Hold that up, Jay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyways, good evening, Chairperson Cindy Fisher, to the Board of Supervisors and the residents of Cecil Township.
Can you do me a favor, Jack? Can you help him? Because I don't think it's getting picked up on his
Good
microphone.
on.
I can speak loud. You don't.
It's just for the recording, because we're recording it to make sure everybody's comments get picked up.
My wife's going to kill me.
We'll protect you from your wife.
Yeah.
Yes, you're good.
Anyways, I've been a resident of Cecil Township for 29 years. I live on Baker Road. I'm here tonight to discuss some serious problems that are occurring on our road. But before I indulge into these, I want to give you a little history about Baker Road to inform the residents as well as the township supervisors of what's been going on over those 29 years. My wife and I were married in 1988, and we're looking to relocate somewhere between Pittsburgh and Washington and cut our commute to work. So we heard about Cecil Township. It was a great rural community just south of Allegheny County. Taxes were low, people were friendly, good schools, sort of like the community my wife grew up in Westmoreland County. So we found this quiet little tree-lined road, tree-lined Red Dog Road, excuse me, called Baker Road. Decided it was a perfect place to build our home, and raise our family. The funny part was our dream was going to hopefully would come true, but we didn't realize it was just the start of a long nightmare. So now, this was before Cherrybrook, if all of you recall, before South Point Interchange was built, before South Point development was even started. And Morganza was still a quiet little road that was a shortcut between Cannonsburg through the little town of Hendersonville on the way to Bridgeville. We were in our home a year, and some guy from Turnpike Commission, and I believe Gateway Engineering, showed up at our door and told us they were going to build this toll road to Pittsburgh all the way to Finleyville. It was going to go right through Baker Road. And as we, like the rest of our residents, were totally shocked. I could not imagine a 4-lane road being built on Baker Road, a shortcut, just to appease the residents of Peters Township because they didn't want the road through their neighborhood. But he did tell us the road wasn't funded. It would be years before the road was ever built. Here we are, 20-some years later. We all look out there and see the construction and been hearing the construction over the last 2 years. One of the proposed routes was also to be used on Boyce Road. But again, that was shut down, and it was shoved down into our neighborhood, Cecil Township. Then 2 bridges were built over the Montour Trail, and as a result, Baker Road was rehabilitated from a gravel Red Dog Road to a paved road, which was great for the residents, but until we realized it brought a lot of traffic onto our road. It also became a shortcut to Morganza Road from all the people from Route 19. Over the years, Baker Road's been chipped and tarred, used by lots of cars and pickup trucks, and with that, speeding became the bigger problem. Baker Road had never been widened. It never had lines painted on it because at the time, this board of directors, even though a lot of you weren't here, you didn't think it was necessary because it is a township road, not a state road. So during the last 15 years, I personally had to replace 6 mailboxes. I've had 4 cars towed out of my front yard, and the speeding never ever stopped. We had one girl crash because she was driving too fast, actually admitted to me, and she didn't want to tell her dad because she just got her driver's license. One guy crashed, knocked over my brick light post, crashed in a tree. We called the police department. They did show up, and they arrested him on DUI charges. This is just what I've experienced, not alone some of my neighbors who also incurred the same kind of problems over the years. So,
I have 3 new mailboxes and a new gas meter. I'm his neighbor. That's because we both live right on top of Baker Road coming up from Lawrence. And you cannot see the traffic coming up the hill, and they can't see the turns, and they just keep wiping us out. Speeding, of course. Go ahead, Jay, I'm sorry.
that's no problem, Chuck. On top of that, we had another issue that came about that I never thought would ever experience. My little girl, in 2014, decided to start was enrolled at Cecil Elementary School, Hills Henderson School, and had to get on a school bus. Little did we know that all this traffic created another problem, and people didn't respect the school bus. So we had, from the years from she was at Hills Henderson, all the way to the elementary school, both Catherine and my son Giovanni, we had to make sure they got on the bus because the people don't respect the school bus. And we were fortunate over the years, talking to Ken and Mac, that the school bus driver actually put himself at risk to protect our kids, would pull diagonally across the road so people wouldn't go around it. So as concerned citizens, we did the best we could. So my daughter now, I forget, she's 23. My son's 17, a senior at Ken and Mac. So we did everything we could. We contacted Cecil Police, who always showed up and tried to address the speeding problem over the years, including this year. I'm sure you've had other important problems to deal with, but you guys always showed up. And I must admit, Cecil Township even showed up all 3 times I was robbed. So kudos to you guys. And as far as compliments go, I also want to thank the road crew. They took care of salting the road during the winter seasons, in addition to clearing the road from the trees that had fallen, and they're always very good, especially Don Januso. So fast forward, the Turnpike Commission decided to install a roundabout at the intersection of Morganza and Morgan Road last year. I'm guessing to address and hopefully reduce the amount of accidents that were caused at the intersection of Morgan, Baker, and Morganza. It was constantly, for any of us that lived there, would hear weekly there was a crash when somebody ran the stop sign. And there were 4 stop signs there. And it was also, if any of you remember, there was a fatality right below that intersection. So when I personally got involved in going to the meetings with the interstate at the Turnpike Commission, they did promise us they would straighten out Morganza Road. I also never figured in my lifetime they were ever going to tear all those homes down and put this road up. So as much as I'm for progress, I'm against the toll road, and I think I've voiced my concerns multiple times over the years at these meetings. So right now, because of Mayview Road being closed and the roundabout, everybody's traveling on Baker Road. I also found out that GPS now puts it as the quickest route to 79 if you're coming from Route 19. And because of that increased car traffic, pickup traffic, which is still automotive, we now have to deal with tractor trailers. My wife and I have counted on the average 20 to 25 18-wheel tractor trailers daily. I don't think any of you have, unless you live on Baker Road, have that issue. And if you do, I feel very sympathetic for you. And anybody that has children, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kids can't even play close to the street. My kids are growing up, but there's kids on our street and grandchildren that have to stay away from our road. I've contacted the police. They come out every time. They set up a speed sign for a month. Kudos to that, but the only failure I could see is they didn't have the authority to pull people over because of laws in Pennsylvania. So as soon as the sign went down, people started speeding. And the speed limit is 25 miles per hour on a road, not 40. But people are going on the average 35, 40, 50. And the truck traffic at night is terrible. The residents that live on our road have to hear the Jake brakes on both the Georgetown side and Morganza side of the road constantly. So the last 2 incidents was September the 7th, first day of school. School bus pulls up, pick my son up. I need a drink of water. The school bus driver pulls over to the side.
Do you have any more water?
That's okay, I'm fine, I'll get by. Pulls over to the side, opens the door, the gate comes out, and a tractor trailer comes up Baker Road, runs right past the school bus. Luckily, we were taking pictures of my son that day, otherwise he wouldn't be here. Fast forward to Tuesday last week, a tractor trailer comes down our road and pulls down the electric to my house, to Chuck's, and another neighbor. And I have, again, kudos to Cecil Township. The cop shows up, the police department, shows up, the fire department shows up, Eric actually showed up. People with 4 West Penn trucks were still trying to drive through that construction zone. People don't, and I can't specifically say it's people that live in Cecil Township or it's people coming from 19. They're driving down our road, have no respect for us. I think over the years I brought this up a couple times, and unfortunately nothing's been done. I've been fighting by myself. So I thought I'd try something a little different. So I talked to all the residents over the weekend, and I have a petition. I have everybody sign it. I'd like to read it real quick, and then I'd like for you to respond. We, the undersigned, are concerned citizens and residents of Baker Road, request our leaders on Cecil Township Board of Supervisors to act accordingly and immediately correct the safety concerns brought on by the increased traffic on Baker Road. The installation of this roundabout, the intersection of Baker and Morganza, and the closing of Mayview Road may be a part of the problem and has led to the increased traffic flow. The 18-wheeler and construction equipment has increased significantly as well and seems to be growing steadily. And I'm guessing as soon as the new toll road is going to be completed, it's going to even compound 10 times more. Speeding continues to be a constant problem. The lack of a weight posting allows for these large semi-trucks to be on Baker Road as a shortcut to their destination, both during the daylight hours and especially late in the evening after midnight. The sound of these trucks sounds just like they're driving right to your house. The use of Jake brakes wakes you up at night. The road's dark, it's narrow, it's heavily tree-lined, and steep grade empties on both Georgetown Road and Morganza. In both directions, this has caused multiple vehicles to accelerate because of the steep incline. Baker Road's been unmarked. There's still no center lines to keep vehicles on their own side of the road, even if they are speeding. This road was not built or designed to handle all this traffic. Your favorable consideration of our request will be appreciated, and we will follow the situation closely.
First of all, thank you for coming and speaking. I know that can't be easy. I'm sure we've looked at this 100 different ways. And unfortunately, we don't have the power to lower the speed limit lower than 25. And we don't have the ability to weight limit that road. We've looked at it to see if we could put a weight limit on it to prevent trucks from coming back, and the answer was unfortunately no. I did just have a very, very brief conversation with about the potential of, she's gonna, if the board's okay with it, investigate the potential of limiting Jake breaks on that road. At least then maybe that could help something. And other than asking our chief of police to just continue to send police officers up there, use the sign as much as possible, I'm not quite sure what else we can do. I mean, we can try, but I don't want to give you a false hope. Like we have looked into weight limiting it, and we can't lower the speed limit below 25.
You know, if I can respond to your
Please.
comments. I believe you probably had studies done over the years, and I probably agree with probably what their findings were. But nobody's anticipating the increased traffic flow because of this roundabout. And these 18-wheelers, I can tell you, it's the companies that are going to Theodore Industrial Park, LaGrange. I see them. I followed a truck today coming down Baker Road, and I followed him all there to LaGrange. He could have gone down Georgetown. Now, I also know Georgetown is a bottleneck at that intersection. You guys, everybody in here knows that. So if we could correct some of that problem, because I really think people are going to be coming up Baker Road, even when Mayview opens back up. They don't want to go up through, because you can't make, it's hard making a left out of Boyce back onto Morganza to go to 79, like into Cecil Township that way. So we have a couple issues. And I don't know the exact answer, but we sort of think if you did something to stop the truck traffic, you know, that's the biggest concern. If Chuck's car runs into me, it's going to get damaged, and I may get hurt, may not. If a tractor trailer runs over me, I'm not going to be here. And I seriously tell you, they're not going 25. And the police is really good about coming up. I'm telling you, every time I've called, he's called, and like I said, talking to all the residents, multiple people have been calling the township, and the police do respond. I can't say anything negative about it, but that's not stopping it. Because as soon as the police car pulls away, and they sat in Madeline's driveway, you know, with the white line there, and as soon as the cop leaves, everybody knows, you know, so they continue speeding. And the only reason I'm saying this is, at some point, I'd like to leave Cecil Township because of where we're living at. And I don't think anybody's going to want to move on there. I mean, we have, Chuck and I are probably, and Dale are probably the three newest people that built houses in the last 30 years on it. Everybody else has lived their whole life. And from what I'm hearing to all those people, from the Simpsons all the way down, they never had speeding on this road. But and progress comes with good things. But this is the bad side. And so people, I'm just telling you, we're putting people, our lives at risk. And I really think you need to do something. I'll invite you to come out to our house. I'll bring coffee and donuts in the morning. You want to come in the evening? I'm not going to buy you steak unless you do something, but I will get you pizza or hoagies just to see the traffic. I really think you need to see it for yourself. Dawn's very supportive of, Eric is, and the police chief. I just wanted to inform the board. I'm sorry it was so long, but I think the residents here, you know, hearing we have speeding issues some other places as well. But Baker, I think, got to come to the top because of what's going on. I'm sure
So quickly before you, so I want you to understand something. So first of all, I'm happy to come see. You don't have to buy me anything. But like, please understand, this board as a whole has supported, from every time it's been brought up, looking in to see what we can do. We looked into weight limiting. We looked into the speeding. We've encouraged our chief of police to send officers up there. This board as a whole, all these people sitting here, understand. And if you can help us come up with something that we can do.
That's what I'm here for.
There you go.
This is Chuck Babay, 956 Baker Road, Jay's neighbor. Eric was over our house the other day because of an issue. A truck hit it, knocked the transformer off a pole right in our driveway. But anyhow, Eric and I talked about if we can't have a weight limit, if we can't have speed bumps like Cannonsburg and Peters Township has, for whatever reason, okay. How about a traffic light down in Hendersonville? So the people that could use Georgetown and would use Georgetown can get out on Morganza. Right now, it just backs up, and when South Point opens up, it's gonna be a mess. So if we could get a traffic light down there in Hendersonville, I think it might solve the problem. I'm not sure. But Eric and I spoke the other day. He just happened to be at our area when, like I said, we had that truck incident. And I understand where you're all coming from. You know, I had a buddy 40 years ago get killed right at the end of Jay's driveway when it was still gravel. It's just a bad road. And those big trucks and the speed limit, even though it's posted 25, they don't obey it. They don't obey it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Don, you want to
But
speak up on the traffic?
we need something, because when South Point opens up and this virus goes away, we're gonna have a lot more traffic on our road because they can't turn on to Georgetown, and Georgetown people can't come back out on Morganza. And like I say, when this virus is over, Jay and I are gonna get hammered with traffic. So we appreciate anything you can do.
So why
for
don't we
us.
do this? We will take another look at it. We will ask our engineer to look and see. Unfortunately, we've already explored weight limit, but we'll ask him to go back and double check that that's not an option. We'll have him check out the possibility of a traffic light, and Don he has all your information. We'll be back in touch with you and see if there's anything we can do. I don't want you to get the impression that we don't support it. We do, and if we could weight limit, it would have been weight limited. If we could have lowered the speed, we would have done it already.
So, and I hear what you're saying, so let me ask you a question. Why is Foster Church, 25 mile per hour speed limit, has a 7.5 ton weight limit on it? And I know it's right next to
I don't
us.
know the answer
Why
off
is
the
Baker
top of my
Road
head.
not?
I don't want to answer that publicly.
Both, where those signs are located at the south end side.
It's a south.
Yeah, but part of it is
Cecil Township.
Yeah, but not where the signs are at.
But the trucks don't go on that road, even though it's in one section. Do you see, we're just trying to help
So
you.
it's not really weight,
Cecil Township.
but it's not really weight limited? They just threw the signs up, or what?
Bill would like to speak to as well.
Hi, my name is Bill Reed. I live at the bottom of Baker Road, right on the corner of Georgetown and Baker. When the road's wet, the trucks come down that hill, they don't even stop. They just blow right through that stop sign. I mean, I've talked to the police. I mean, they were there like a couple weeks ago. The road was closed for a little bit. So I was out there talking to the officers, and I asked them, I said, please do something about this. He said, come to the meeting. He said, explain the situation. I'm explaining. They don't stop for that stop sign. And like he said, the tractor trailers coming down that hill with our engine brakes on actually rattle my windows. That's how bad they are. Dump trucks, everything, right through the stop sign. The police are more than welcome to come sit in my driveway. And as far as coming up Georgetown Road to turn on to Baker, they refuse to use a turn signal. Nobody uses a turn signal to turn onto that road. And that is actually a right-hand turn because the main road turns to the left. If somebody could please come, you're more than welcome to sit in my driveway.
You're talking,
Observe what is going on.
you're talking to the right guy. He's saying we will. But
Take care of it.
Thank you.
One more comment in closing. I just sort of heard through the grapevine, and I'm not gonna say it's 100%, but did Baker Road just get rezoned recently?
no,
No? Black box property was not rezoned?
no,
So commercial light industrial?
no. We haven't rezoned anything.
Okay, that's all we heard, because that on top of, I've been complaining for a long time about lack of sewage, on our road, and I understand, I really do. I've been patient with that, and I've probably been patient and quiet for too long about the speeding, because it's just been steadily increasing and stuff. But when I heard all my fellow neighbors and residents complaining, and I gotta tell you, when they came back out of their driveway, something has to be done. I thought it was just me and Chuck. But like I said, talking to everybody, that's why I had everybody sign. I could show you the petition and stuff that everybody actually, not just the Jay Barber resident, Chuck Babaji and Bill and Paula are here tonight, speak on our behalf. Everybody's concerned. They didn't know what to do, and they were sort of grateful that we all at least got together to try to at least bring it to your attention and see if you can do something. So again, I appreciate your concerns, and hearing your answer. We just want to see results,
Do
please.
you want us to reach out to each one of you individually or one person?
If you do it to me, I'll
So
communicate
just
with
make sure
everyone.
Carol has all your email, phone number before you leave, and we've looked, but we will look again. That's all we can say.
The
And
offer-
Sean,
The coffee's there for coffee, I'm telling you. Just to see
I
it.
do love coffee, but I'll bring my own coffee.
I can tell you, all the company trucks, the 18-wheelers that go down there, because they do these, this isn't just Amazon and UPS and FedEx coming to my house or Chuck's house. These are the people that are using Baker Road as a shortcut to different destinations. And I'm not making that up, and we have the
Believe
proof.
you.
We actually and as the last thing, I don't think we were stepping over top of you, but we contacted Jason, our state rep, and asked what we could do about the road as well. He said he was going to send a letter to everybody down there. I don't know if that was ever done, but I also, I think I agree with his decision. We should approach you guys first, because it is a township road, before we try to get the state to, help us out.
We
And
work
believe me,
really well with him, so we'll reach out to him too in this process and see if he has any, maybe he or someone in his office has a suggestion that we haven't thought of, but we definitely will reach out to him as well.
one more little kudos. I know the construction for that project got behind because of weather, COVID, and everything else. And again, us and people in Cherrybrook had to encounter the same thing: the noise, the dust, the beeping at night and stuff. I appreciate when you guys did tell them that they had to back down on the hours and stuff. But and I know they're at a deadline right now, but it has gotten crazy again.
Has it really? Because that's what that agreement just was. So if you want to talk to Gretchen and me before you leave, that's what that agreement, where was it? We took them back to courts. Consider the amendment to settle an agreement and release with the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission and Walsh Construction. We just took them back to court for a second time and said, hey, we came to this agreement and you're doing it anyways. So before you leave tonight, make sure you give us some information on that, because we will hold them accountable.
Now, when I personally complained to Joe, the project manager for Interstate, I forget the whole name, they've always did go out and clean with their sweeper and stuff. But like this morning, Morganza was all muddy from where the new road is all the way down into Hendersonville.
Okay.
Again, thank you all for your time. Appreciate it.
That's important, though. Make sure when you're having complaints about that you let Dawn know, or Gretchen or me, because we want to hold them accountable for that, and we have an agreement in place to do so. And like Gretchen said, we even have the ability to go back to court should we need to.
No problem.
Yeah, so just make sure that we know what's going on there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Times and location is
Yeah.
important.
Did you hear her? Times and location.
Dates, times, and location.
Thank you.
Wendy Johnson, 1408 Yorktown. And if I go home Baker tonight, I will be taking my life in my hands. The road is so friggin' dark, excuse my expression. If somebody comes up on the other side, they're in the middle of the road, and their lights totally blind you. Like he said, no guidelines on the road. It is the most unsafe road, I think, in this township. And I wish you'd gotten the people behind Georgetown on your petition, because they'd have been behind you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead, sorry.
Hi, Dale DeLugas, live in Windsor Woods, 4039 Sir James. This is more a point of order than anything else. You do have the agenda item on here every month, citizens' general comments and questions. But none of that ever makes the meeting minutes. Is there a reason that that can't be accomplished?
Go ahead. For citizens' comments to be on the agenda, in the minutes. Yeah. It's on there.
I read last month's meeting minutes and there was nothing on
We
it.
might not have, I actually don't think anybody came to speak last month, but they are at the end. Carol, she's the one that does it. They're on there. So maybe it just didn't get uploaded correctly.
Okay,
We can check that, but there's some, yeah, it's not word for word, but it'll say who spoke and the general topic that they spoke on.
that'd be fine.
Yeah, Carol can show you, it's on there.
Okay, it didn't show up on the.
Jack will check for us.
Last month's minutes.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, good point, Carol. Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
She's
thank
right.
you.
That's why we keep her around to keep us in line.
So you just said it right there.
Anybody else?
I have one more question. They brought up that Foster Church in Southwest Township. How can they have a weight limit and we can't?
So, they can't. Let's just say that.
No one's challenged that.
Yeah,
It has to be enacted by ordinance.
sorry.
It has to meet the ordinance, it has to meet the warrants from satisfactory as well, too. You can't just arbitrarily throw it out.
I think that's one of the best roads in the township. Baker.
Any other comments or questions? This meeting is, oh, sorry, not adjourned, sorry.
Sorry, I'm Paula DeMarco, 981 Baker. I just want to say, I get that you can't do the weight limit. I disagree with it. Someone's got to
Me
be
too.
able to do that. It's the enforcement of the 25 miles. The cops are not there. You guys are not there between 7 and 9 a.m. I work from home now that I don't travel. Between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., 50 miles an hour. Between 3:30 and 6 o'clock, going the other way, 50 miles an hour. I go across the street sometimes to visit a neighbor. I almost got killed last week because the traffic, you guys, I get that Mayview's closed, we're getting more traffic. It's the fact that they're not going 25 miles an hour. And you guys park in the neighbor's driveway, you do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sorry, nobody's going down the street at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We need enforcement, we need it there regularly. I don't care if you park, as someone else mentioned, park a police car in my driveway, you won't hide, because my driveway's the second from the roundabout next to the Simpsons. Park an empty one. Do something to show people that there's enforcement. Every time they're out, they're wonderful, they're lovely enforcement people, nothing against them, they're just not there enough. And it is dangerous on that street. There are little kids next to me and across the street, and quite frankly, I'm afraid to go to my mailbox because of how fast the cars are going. When I am driving on that street, I'm going 26 miles an hour. And it takes everybody out. Someone tried to pass me and almost got in a car accident. Surprised it didn't, when his power went out because of that accident last week, took the whole street up. And I got a nice email from Tom when I wrote an email to all of you a month ago, and he said you guys were going to be painting something on the street. Haven't seen that.
We did that. We painted lines.
New lines?
Yes.
I missed it. It hasn't helped.
We've been
Nobody's
there,
to
and I
give
think
it
he
to
can
me.
even answer this. We've been there in the mornings. We've been there every time we can be. We're busy. We're answering 911 calls on top of that. But what I'm going to reassure you, you're going to have a heavy presence there. We're going to do as much as we can. But is it going to solve the problem? Like you said, as soon as we go answer a 911 call, the traffic's going to pick up again. So
It's bad.
I'm going to do my best. We're trying to continue to do the best, and we will be there.
And we
The
appreciate
stop
that.
sign down the road, just warning everybody, please stop at that stop sign. There will be an officer on the other side of Baker as well, but we will have a very heavy presence there. So
That'd be great, because I don't know if you mentioned, every single person on that street signed that petition. When does that ever happen in today's world?
I'd like to say something also.
Just quickly, if we're going to continue, can we use the microphone so it gets picked up on the recording? Hold on 1 second.
It's not a police problem. It's really speed bumps, rate limits, something got to be done. And trucks got to stay off the road. And I really don't blame it on the police. I don't blame it on the white lines, anything. It's a bad road, it's a tiny road, it's a county road. Like I said, I had a friend get killed up on that road right in front of his driveway. It just doesn't make any sense that we can let that road be used as a main thoroughfare. That's what it gets down to. We got to stop at being a main thoroughfare. It should be mainly for people that live there, period. The way I see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any,
Please come to the bottom of Baker Road, too.
I said, everybody better
Come to the
stop
bottom.
there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
any other comments or questions? Okay. This meeting this evening is adjourned. Thank you.